This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about suicide and depression. So this is going to be a serious episode. It's more so to talk on my experiences with it, because I've had my fair share of it. Both, suicide and depression. And I would say that mine wasn't as severe as other people, and that's why I'm doing this episode, because it was one of my mom's friends was telling me that it was their niece or somebody in their family had committed suicide. And the girl was 17 years old. And it's just overall sad to hear that. And that's what hurts the most, is just hearing how overall age don't matter when it comes to depression and suicide. But it, to me, it just hurts when you hear somebody at such a young age, that stuff is crossing their mind. And it's, and a lot of people, and the thing is, from all ages, a lot of people deal with that. So it sucks that nobody is there to talk to them, reach out to them. Because when I sit down and think about that type of stuff, I'm like, dang, I wish I knew who they were, so I could have at least given them some words of encouragement and help them out. So that's why I'm doing this episode, to reach out to people out there that are dealing with suicide. You're this stuff hurts, and you just need some sort of advice or help. Hey, I'm here for everybody possible. I am here for you. All right, whether it's, the videos that I post, or whether it's the Twitch streams, TikTok, whatever it is that I can do, whether it's just, me being myself and just putting out content, or just, us just having a one-on-one, and then, you're telling me your situation and stuff. And the thing is that I was so, not so much as afraid, but just was hesitant about, saying that and stuff. I'm here for you guys, reach out to me, because, people try to use that to their advantage and try to turn it into some YouTube drama and stuff. And I'm look, if that's if you ain't really dealing with that stuff, I'm if you just trying to do it to just get videos out of me, it's bro, no, I am being dead serious in this. If you are dealing with some stuff, reach out to me. If you trying to do this so you can make me look like a bad person for a YouTube video, I'm nah. It's what you need to do is reevaluate your life and understand that this is a serious subject. You can't joke around about stuff like this. You can't just say nah, it's not funny. It's not something to, this ain't a joking matter. And people look at this as a joking matter, oh, well, I haven't dealt with it, so therefore I can joke around with it. No, there's people out there that look at that type of stuff, and that's why I get so offended by when people tell me that they joke about this, or when I see people joking about this. It's not funny. It never will be funny. So that's why I'm look, nah, if you really dealing with some stuff, reach out to me. I don't care how embarrassing that stuff is. And, to just overall talk on that, and overall just to, really just talk on, talking on that particular subject, reaching out and talking to people. You should never feel embarrassed about reaching out and talking to people. Even if it is embarrassing, you should never feel embarrassed about talking about certain stuff. Because, last year, so to overall tell you guys, how I was dealing with, depression and, some case of suicidal thoughts, but not severe cases where I'm okay, I'm gonna go through with them, I actually do it. But it was the idea of not being here and just not existing did cross my mind. And so it was to that extent. And I'm yeah, you shouldn't think like that, because there are people in this world that I met in the past year that I'm man, I'm glad I met you, because you make life a lot easier and stuff. So I'm probably going to reach out to a lot of those people and just overall thank them and let them know hey, yo, we might not see each other that often. We might not talk all the time, but I am glad like you exist and you have like helped me in some sort of way and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, so last year, yeah, depression had hit me hard, and it was because I think a lot of people overall know the situation where it was the whole like the girl rejecting me and stuff. So yeah, there's a girl that I liked, was chasing her for a good like almost 3 years or 3 years exact. I don't know. I think it was like almost 3 years, but well, because it was like we did like so it was 3 years. All right, it was 3 years, but anyways, so there was a day where she overall told me she started seeing somebody, and I wasn't really accepting it. So I did like kind of just I threw like that one last like good punch and just pretty much like tried telling her how I felt, like tried telling her about like like what was on my mind, and it wasn't gonna change anything. It was like too far like into her relationship with this person, and so it hurt. Like like 100% it hurt, and it was one of those things where I really did just get a chance to like I'm trying to like find the words to like describe it. I'm not trying to like keep continuing because that's the thing. I've done like multiple takes of this episode. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to hurry up and get it out the way. So forgive me if I'm like struggling with my words and stuff. But it's like it's one of those things where it's like I can explain it, but the words to explain it just like it ain't fully there and stuff. But I guess like the best way that I can explain it, as soon as it was like it was like I was told like nothing can happen between us, then it was like still like trying to think, okay, well maybe like, and it was everything like I was thinking everything possible, but I was like the thing was it was like yeah, it was just overall too far gone and I couldn't do nothing. So I just remember it was like, and it was like I remember the last day I was at my job, that's when it all had went down. So I yeah, like people if you know me and know how I work, then like I'm running around laughing, cracking jokes. That wasn't me on that last day of work. And so yeah, I pretty much was just, that's like when the depression was really like settling in. And I remember I got home, laid down in bed. I was trying to watch like motivational videos to like help me just get through. I was doing everything possible and nothing was working at all. So then that's when it really just started like, settling in, and it hit me like this girl that I have been like madly in love with for like 3 years, like it's over, it's done, like ain't nothing happening. And so then that's when it was like the tears that started rolling in, and I broke down for like it was like the first time in like maybe 5-6 years I broke down in tears and just started crying, because it was painful. Like I'm saying, like people might find that embarrassing, people might find that like like you want to laugh at it and stuff, but I'm like it was honestly, it was one of the most hardest things that I've ever dealt with in my life. Like I'm telling you, like all of the embarrassing like and crazy things I've dealt with in life, I would rather go through that 100 times over and over and over again than to deal with that one moment in my life, because that was the one moment where I felt like that it really almost destroyed me. Like it hurt so much that I was like, fam, I remember not being able to eat. I remember not being able to record videos, not being able to just, overall like interact with people and stuff. And then another thing was that I got like very careless with my life, thinking like along the lines like something can happen to me and I wouldn't care. Like I would rather, like that was the thoughts that was running through my mind, was overall like like I would rather feel like physical pain than this mental pain that I'm dealing with right now. And it's scary to be in that mindset, because like if something were to happen, then I'm like that's the thing that I wasn't thinking about was in situations like this, like you really have the choice on whether to think for yourself or think for others. But I started thinking for others because I'm a people person. And so I started thinking about others and was like, I got to be there for like, because my thing is like I've spent like a good portion of my life being there for a lot of people. So I'm like, why like turn back now? because I'm dealing with my stuff. So overall, like my thing was is that, you know, I gotta like, you know, somebody's going through some stuff, I gotta put my stuff aside, help them out, and then come back and, you know, deal with my own stuff. But I'm like, I'm gonna like use what I said on that person and then try to like use it for myself, take in my own advice and, you know, make the best of it and things. But no, like that was like, you know, just breaking down in tears and just started crying for the first time in a while. Like it was hard. And so I remember reaching out to some friends, or actually no, so I posted on social media saying that I need to talk to somebody because, you know, like that was the main thing that was like hunting me, was just the loneliness. Like, dang, like I'm really, because after that, I had to say that it just felt like I had like nobody in my life. Like this girl always would tell me like she's always gonna be there for me, she's always gonna be my friend. But like, you know, in my mind, and maybe that's just me overthinking, I'm like, it's gonna get to a point in time where your guys' relationship is going to get like serious and you're not gonna have no time for me. So I'm saying like it's, you know, that's what it was like, seeing like sitting down and seeing that happen, and I'm like, no, like I have officially lost you. And maybe that's just me overthinking, maybe that's just me. And I'm in another thing that was like, you know, crossing my head, where it's like, you know, it's just hard thinking about stuff like that, but I'm like, it seems like that's like a reality and stuff. But the only way possible for her to like, you know, like if me and her wanted to hang out, or if me and her had to have some sort of like, you know, interaction, I mean, like, you know, we like will talk from like time to time, because I still consider her a friend to this day, you know, outside of like that whole relationship like, you know, thing. But no, like we're still friends. But I felt like the only time, like if it would have led down to it, her having feelings for me, is if I was like fighting for my life in a hospital. And it should never get to that point. Like I'm like, my thing is that I want stuff to happen naturally. So I'm like, you know, me being in such a vulnerable spot like last year and stuff, like honestly, I probably would have taken that relationship, like due to the circumstances of me being in the hospital fighting for my life, and then, you know, her thinking she's gonna lose me. And I'm like, that to me just doesn't seem like a legitimate relationship. And I'm like, the amount of stuff that just ran through my head was like hating her, and then hating the guy, and then, you know, just overall like hating myself at times. Like it was just, you know, it was so unhealthy being in that mindset. And the thing is like, you know, still to this day, like I have like anger, you know, and it's something that's like, it's still like a work in progress. And I'm thinking, you know, like, oh, well, maybe if I like do this, like go get into a relationship, maybe I'll forget it all. But I'm like, it's still gonna be lingering in my mind. Like, it don't matter, like, what I do. The thing is that it doesn't matter how many videos I record. It doesn't matter how many podcast episodes I record. It doesn't matter how many, you know, like, life moments I experience. Because, I mean, I feel like that in that past year, like, you know, or this past year, like, so many things has happened to me. A lot of positive stuff has happened to me, too. Like, meeting new people. You know, what else? Freaking YouTube. Like, it was a lot of different things that happened. Like, you know, hanging out with my family, going on like, you know, road trips, and just overall just, you know, relaxing and, you know, really trying to, but still like this stuff lingers in my mind. And, you know, being lonely still lingers in my mind. And it, you know, the thing is like, I could be surrounded by family, I could be talking with friends, I could be doing whatever. And still like at the end of the day, like, none of that stuff, like, you know, and I don't know, maybe I'm just, you know, like once again overthinking, but it's like, it just seems like to me, like none of that stuff, like, is not enough, you know. But I'm like, at the same time, I should view it as like, no, it's more than enough. Like, you know, you lost one person, but it's like, look at the amount of success you've gained through YouTube. Look at the amount of friends that you've gained through content creating. Look at just the amount of stuff that you're like going through now that's like putting you in a more positive. So maybe I just really gotta see like the outcome of all of this. But for now, it's just, you know, I just like, it ain't so much as like doubt, but it's just like well, I mean, it probably is just like doubt and stuff, and just, you know, doubt and overthinking. But no, like it was hard, you know, that year, like just sitting around, like trying to accept it and stuff. And then just the more and more I seen like where she was like, you know, posting photos, like, you know, like on social media of her and this guy, I'm like, man, like, part of me is like, dang, wish that was me. But I'm like, that's, that's just life. So I had to, I pretty much just had to, accept it. And have I accepted it now? Yes, I've fully, like, have accepted it. It's one of those things where I'm like, even if she were to break up with that guy and would want to start a relationship with me, I'm like, the damage has been done. And I'm like, to go through all of that, like, that, like, those, like, not mood swings, but just to go on that ride of emotions, that's a ride that I don't want to go through. Because I'm like, okay, so let's say we do get in a relationship, but then you decide like you don't want to be in a relationship no more. Because I'm saying, like, I am down 100% to spend the rest of my life with somebody that actually cares and loves for me. But if not, like, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be 10 times harder than I feel like than last year. And I'm like, that's something that I don't want to go through. But I'm like, it could be anybody. So that's why I'm like, I really don't know the outcome of my life. I really don't know what's gonna go down, what's gonna happen. But I'm like, I just know that I don't want to go back down that road anymore. Because that was like a dark and scary road that I'm like, I'm like, I'd rather do with anything else in my life, like, but if it's gonna take me down a dark and scary road like that, I don't want to be a part of it. So, but the thing is that, like, I prayed for myself. And I overall, like, I tried to do everything possible to just really get out of that mindset and stuff. And a part of it, like, still lingers. It's not as strong as it was, but a part of it still lingers. But it's just more so like at moments I just have like my sad moments and stuff. And then, maybe the next day or maybe later on that day, like, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm chilling and stuff. So, but it was freaking tough. Like, there's another thing. Like, I was having like nightmares. So altogether, it was like, the depression, crying, not being able to eat, nightmares, my heart, like, just overall, like, just feeling numb. What other things? Not being able to sleep. I'm like, fam, I was already like a freaking a night owl person. I'm like, I stay up all the time. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it had anything to do with that. But no, it was definitely at moments where I just have like nightmares and crap. And some of the nightmares is like, me like forced to, like, you trying to wake up from a dream, but you can't. But it was like in the like dreams or in the nightmares, whatever, it was like me like forced to hang out with them and stuff, and they like holding hands, kissing and all of that. And I'm like, in real life, I'm like, nah, I'm leaving. Like, in a situation like that, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm getting ready to go home. Like, I don't care how I get home, but something like that, I don't want to be a part of it. Because I already know what type of person I am. And I'm like, it's just going to overall be toxic, being in a situation like that. So that's why I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to eliminate myself from that, particular situation and, move on. And, like, that's honestly, like, in any situation possible, like, well, not any situation, like, that's the thing, like, with suicide and depression, it could be from a death, it can be, from rejections, it could be from a lot of different, stuff. But just always know, like, that's the one thing that I can say about, like, all situations, that life will get better. Like, don't think for a second, like, life is over. Don't think for a second, like, life is, like, it's finished, it's done. And that's something that I wish I can, like, tell everybody, like, but I mean, I have that chance and opportunity now to tell everybody that, but it's like, yeah, don't think for a second that, like, your life is over. Cause I'm saying, like, at one point in time, I just thought, like, all right, I'm done. Like, I can't, or it's not even so much as that I can't, but I'm like, what more do I have, like, left? Or more can I do? Cause I'm like, I've done that. I felt like, my thing was, like, I felt like I did everything possible. And so I'm like, what's the point of still, going on? And that was my mindset. And I was like, bro, that is such a negative and just downright dark mindset. I'm like, there's so many things that I can do to keep, like, I can still keep going on with YouTube. YouTube may not be in the best stage that could have been in, like, from getting freaking strikes, dealing with hate, all of that crap, but I'm not getting strikes anymore. I'm not getting hate, like, or I'm not getting the hate that I was getting, and YouTube stopped it from where I can, like, get that type of hate again. So at the end of the day, I'm like, YouTube's chilling. freaking Twitch. Like, I picked up in the past year, I picked up Twitch streaming. I made a crap ton of friends, and it's like people that I'm like, I would love to hope and would like to meet one day. TikTok, freaking doing well on TikTok. I'm like, dang, it's gonna be at some point in time. I'm like, I might have the same amount of followers as one of the D'Amelio sisters. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm like, hey, it's freaking TikTok is going great. My personal life, my love life, hey, it may be, it's in a point in time now where I can like, joke around with that type of stuff and, like somewhat laugh about it. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna be full blown in tears, like cracking up laughing like I was just sitting down watching like a Kevin Hart like comedy special, but at least like I can crack jokes about it and stuff. And just make fun of it and just overall. And that's the thing, like, you have that, like, the thing is, when you get out of like that dark road, you have the choice to go down any road that you want to go down. It's like, and don't think, you gotta, like, no, any road out there, whether it's positive, whether it's, like, of course you want to avoid the negative roads, but any positive road in your life that you want to go down, you can go down that road. You have that option to, move if you want to move, get into something if you want to get into something. What else? Like, talk to people if you want to talk to them. I don't care if it's some random person in a coffee shop, random person in GameStops, random person in Best Buy, Target, freaking the mall, wherever. Talk to people if you need to talk to them. But change your life up so you won't be living that life that you was living like a year ago or 10 years ago or however long ago that you was living it. But just always know that life is going to get better. And that's like one of the things where I sit down and I think about it and I'm like, life has gotten better. And I'm so happy that life did get better. Because I'm like, I do not want to be in the same position where I was at last year. I'm like, my life is still a work in progress. And that's how I'm viewing it. That's how I'm always going to view it. As many times as like, people may say some negative stuff about me online. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't care. Like that, people saying negative things about me online versus the stuff that I was dealing with last year. I'm like, bro, I'd rather deal with that stuff all over again than to deal with what I dealt with last year. So I'm like, yeah, it's freaking hard, man. But at the end of the day, I got better, and I have to say that I'm mentally stronger than I was last year. So I've like somewhat have prepared myself for this, and I'm just kind of like, in this point in time, because I knew that was going to happen, because I remember it happened to me back in high school. There was another time where I got rejected and I was just hesitant about relationships, and I am kind of, but I'm, the thing is like, all right, you know what, I'm still gonna move forward. I'm still gonna look for a relationship out there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to keep on moving and stuff, and I ain't going to look back. I'm like, that's overall how I got to view it. And that's how I got, that's how I even got to view this situation with the girl that just rejected me last year. I'm like, I just got to, like, look forward in life and just stop looking back. And I'm like, looking back on the past, because I'm like, it's not doing anything for me. So I just got to keep going. So anyways, but yeah, always know, life is going to get better for you guys. I don't care what you're dealing with. Life will get better, all right? I'm praying for everybody out there. Like, may Jesus walk with you more than he walks with me. May God be there with you. Like, all the different stuff. Like, I want to put that out in existence. I'm like, I want to see y'all happy. I want to see you guys in a positive mood, positive attitudes, everything possible. Because, at the end of the day, I'm like, we all need, if I can be that friend, my thing is this, if I can be that friend that you need, that you just need like somebody there, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm like, send me the contract, I will sign it, and I'm like, hey, yo, like, I'll be your friend for however long you need me to be your friend. Then if it's for a lifetime, for eternity, forever, hey, yo, I'm like, guess we gonna be friends forever. I'm like, just let me know where you gonna be at, and yeah, I'm like, just I'll reach out, I'll fly out, do what I can, but yeah, but just always know, like, life is gonna get better, all right? So don't think for a second life ain't gonna get better, or like life is gonna stay the same way, or if it's never gonna get better. Like, nah, life is gonna get better for you. So, but anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Stay tuned for the next episode. No promos, because this is a serious episode. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight or today, whenever you're viewing this episode. And peace.